Here, I just want to show a quick case study of a funnel I'm working with, a creator, of how we were able to optimize click-through rates to a checkout VIP page where we literally had Fable from Claude optimize and pretty much analyze everything going on in our business, from the app to Supabase data to Posthog data, which is like a behavior analytics tracking platform, to Stripe, to the code base itself, to also MailerLite email campaigns where we had the AI hooked up to. So for those of you who don't know, Fable is this super powerful AI that was actually recently banned from pretty much just being accessible to a lot of people. So it's no longer accessible on Claude, but don't get me wrong, you can also still use Opus, you can still use Sonnet from Claude, you can still use Codex like ChatGPT 5.5. You can pretty much use anything as long as you can somehow connect it to various different connectors to analyze data, performance of how your views or traffic is coming to your platforms, your app, your website, whatever funnel you're running, and then how you can make better decisions. So I just want to quickly help you understand what the results were and what the data was, so you can understand like the significance of, like, if you're running and buying a shit ton of paid advertisement to your funnel, whether it's your e-commerce store, whether it's a SaaS, whether it's whatever, this data is pretty actually significant, because if you can get your AI to analyze the data, because it's all there, it's all accessible through a connector, a plugin, or through some sort of API call into another account, this shit can optimize the hell out of whatever business you have. And it's crazy because this thing initially, I'll show you also too, like a sample example of not the actual funnel, but also like this just sample demo funnel that we had that looks pretty similar to what we were running. So you can see the significance and difference in terms of like what it was before and what it was after the Fable optimization to actually increase click-through rates, to get more people onto the checkout, to then actually make more purchases at the end of the day. So before, our click-through rate to upgrade to the VIP page when someone signed up for an event, it was roughly 6%, so 5.8%. And these are real stats here. So this was before, it was up to June 9 and before, since the beginning of June. So it was averaging 5.8%. Whereas say after the optimizations, we had an initial test run of 5 days. We got that shit up nearly 100%. So we pretty much doubled it through Fable optimizing the data. So the events it was collecting from Posthog analytics for like the behaviors of like what people were doing on the actual website, to the Supabase data that we were collecting, to also Stripe information of how many purchases we were getting and things of that nature, and how people were reacting to the general code base, or like how the structure itself looked like. So the reason why, if you're using something like ClickFunnels, like Framer or Webflow, or maybe any of these other platforms, if you have limited information and data that you can feed the AI, it's not going to be really able to optimize this shit, which is kind of problematic itself in the age of AI. Whereas say if you have your own code base, if you have access to your own behavior analytics, if you have access to Supabase where you're collecting information about different things happening all around your business, and also to email campaigns being sent out, whatever, your AI can piece all this information up that you normally can't do, right? Like humans can't do this shit. The AI can literally understand all of this, and from there make a decision of how to optimize it. And here's the crazy part: when I initially gave this all this set of information to Fable, it not only fixed all the problems of my current tracking, because I wanted to test out Fable and what's all the hype about, I mean, like, why was everyone gassing up Fable here, and what's the significance here of this like super AI everyone's talking about, right? And this thing, by the way, it excels in long chain performance. So if you look here really quickly on like the benchmarks for just stats on how these AIs perform, Mythos and Fable by far are some of the highest performing available AI to the marketplace. Well, not anymore, right? But I mean, it was. So it's pretty crazy, because what happened here was I gave it all the data, it analyzed all the data, and before it even suggested to me any of the optimizations, it fixed all the errors and problems I had in my code base in terms of how we were tracking things wrong, where the issue was, where there wasn't really anything, even though we logged a ton of memory, because I wasn't really checking through the code base, but it found the problem in itself. And then from there, before it even applied the best performing optimizations. And by the way, in the original prompt itself, when it told me, hey, I fixed all these problems, and then with all these fixes in place of the code base and how we're tracking data and information and things of that nature, with these fixes in place, you are likely to receive at least a 60% uplift in click-through rate on getting people to the checkout page itself to actually purchase the VIP. So before I even applied everything, it already fixed all my problems I had in the code base of how we were like pretty much tracking things and any errors in the code. And then it suggested this is the most optimal way how we can increase the click-through rate, because the constraint there was getting people to actually click on the checkout button to get to the checkout page to make a purchase. So before it even suggested to me the optimizations to increase the click-through rate, it fixed all the bugs I had. And then from there, it said with these fixes in place, we could get at least 60% click-through rate. And guess what? It nearly doubled that shit. It got a 90% above baseline of what we were doing up to June 9th. And then from there, during this period, we had a 90% lift. And then I did a small optimization tweak to see like if a tweak would make it any better or lower, because we had some hypotheses we wanted to test. And from there, like the tweak itself was 60%. So this is just ridiculously insane. So we have some more information here, which I pretty much just like explained, but I'll show you what it pretty much all looked like in just a moment. But for those of you who don't know like how to do this, like all you have to really do is just open up Claude Desktop, Codex. If you don't know what these are super AI apps. If you want me to make a video on this, let me know and I can kind of show you around how to use it. But you can pretty much download this on your computer, and then from there connect different connectors, plugins, which are pretty much like Stripe, Posthawk, Supabase, your own code base, MailerLite, any other tools you're using like Vercel, whatever. You can pretty much connect everything like I pretty much have here. So whether it's using Superdata, Airtable, Calendly, and you have to look at it this way. This is all information your AI has access to, depending on what information and permissions you give it. But once you give the AI all these various different kinds of connectors, they call it, right, which are at the end of the day just kind of like plugins, it extends the capabilities of what your AI can do. This shit can make way better information or informed decisions based on what is actually going on, especially any analytics behavior, purchasing behavior, anything else you're tracking, whatever information you're tracking, whether it's like transcripts of videos, events that are happening. This thing can pretty much form hypotheses, and then from there make adjustments, propose adjustments, or just you give it a goal and then it just goes out there and executes the goal. It's insane what the state of AI is and what you can do. So if you're not using these super AI apps, I highly recommend you do, because you can probably make a ton more money with it. Plus you will be way ahead in orders of magnitude compared to your competitors. So I'm just going to quickly show you what like the landing page here looked like. So this one is the before of like what the funnel looked like. So someone was on a event page, they get taken to this page and they're like, hey, thanks for registering for this event. There's a quick VSL video right here, which is just a sales letter. And it was just mentioning, oh, hey, you should probably upgrade to VIP, right? So what they can do is they can press this button and then they would get taken to a Sam Car checkout page. So here we don't have that actually, but nonetheless, it's pretty much demonstrates the same concept, and it pretty much goes more deeper into like what this VIP ticket thing even is. Simple FAQ at the bottom, and that's pretty much it, right? So that's pretty much as simple as it was. So this was roughly getting about 5.8% click-through to get this upgrade pass, and it was making some sales, right? But the constraint was actually getting people to the click-through button, right? Getting people to the actual checkout page. So when you look at this for like a mobile view of what it would look like, it was just something simple like this. And this is important because I want to show you what the desktop view looks like and what the mobile looks like. And I'll show you what Fable did to optimize the click-through conversions. So this is what Fable optimized my new page look like. So this is like when someone signs up for the event, they get taken to this quick thank you page, thanking the person, just giving them a last minute quick offer like, hey, by the way, we have this prizes going on, these giveaways going on, whatever. Do you want to upgrade? So it pretty much suggested everything here. It pretty much rearranged things. It suggested of this giveaway we were doing. It suggested, hey, yes, upgrade me for this amount of money. This is all the benefits you are getting. There's this countdown timer here. Here's like the offer stack, the bonus stack of like what this potentially looks like for like joining the event, right? Like a last call to action, a quick testimonial section right here, FAQ, and then final call to action at the very bottom. So this is pretty much what the layout of the thank you page looked like for the last minute VIP. And then for mobile, this is what actually got us the most conversions. It's this sticky conversion thing here. So this, because people were able to like upgrade from the very top here with like this button, and then as you scroll, you can pretty much see here that this thing just kind of follows along. This simple button, ridiculous button itself here, increased click-through rate by double. It's ridiculous to say that, right? But this little upgrade here pretty much was just it was for this test right here. It was the scroll sticky or it was the scroll trigger sticky button that kind of followed you along. This right here, the difference between this was whenever I scrolled past a certain point on the page, it never disappeared. It was always here, right? It was always here, and so was the top part. There was also like another top part here, so it would always kind of just like follow you along. So we were just trying to optimize to see whether or not it made any difference. But guys, believe it or not, this thing definitely made a significant difference in terms of how many people were clicking it, because most of the visitors onto this thank you page here were on mobile. So it made so much sense just to optimize for this, because it saw the data, right? It saw the data from where the traffic was and what devices that we're using. And because of that data and information, it was able to make a hypothesis of like, hey, if we have this and it just follows them all the way down the page, we can likely double our click-through rate to our checkout page. So this is what Fable did. This is how you can pretty much put your whole entire business on crack with like these AI agents once you give them access to data and information. And from there, hopefully it can generate you more money, more sales, more conversions, more click-through rate, whatever metric you're looking to optimize for. At the end of the day, these platforms, they have goal optimizations, like slash commands for a goal. What you can pretty much do is be like, hey, this is our current click-through rate, make the click-through rate get to double or like triple, or like give it the AI a goal, right? Give this thing a goal, or just give it a prompt and be like, hey, here's all the connectors, here's all the information you have. Make a decision based on all the information here you have, or if there's anything else you need from my stack, let me know. I can give you a connection from it. And based off this prompt, see what we can do to double our click-through rate or unblock this current constraint that you're dealing with, whatever it is. So if you connect these tools with these AI agents, these things will cook, I promise you. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found this video very insightful, and I look forward to seeing you in another one.